December 29th, 1963. The town is Chicago. The two best football teams in the world meet in a deadline to glory.
That was the first game I ever went to. My uncles couldn't have picked a better game for me to go to.
No one has played middle linebacker better than Dick Butkus.
In my opinion, the greatest defensive football player that ever lived. Gale Sayers once asked me who was better, me or Peyton. I said, if I need one game, I want you. If I need a season, I'll take Walter. He says, that sounds fair. Changed the whole culture of the Chicago Bears. Enjoyed working with the guy, enjoyed being friends with the guy, and he's a legend.
You're 100% right, but you're a pain in the butt.
I actually cried when they won the Super Bowl. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, I just have one thing to say. We all have bragging rights over the whole goddamn country.
Lovie Smith was a heck of a coach. I was not a Lovie Smith fan, but he made me a Lovie Smith fan. Matt Nagy sabotaged his career. Him and Trubisky had something good going. They made the playoffs twice in 4 years. He took his career, threw it in the dumpster, and now he's getting coffee for Andy Reid. I like the Bears for third place this year, but surprise us. 5 to 6 teams a year that make the playoffs are new teams that didn't make it the year before. Hopefully they'll be one of them.
Welcome, everyone, to a fresh episode of Raw Jewelers Presents the Mike North Advantage. I'm Aldo Gandia, and the handsome gentleman to my screen right, I think it's called, is Mike North. Mike, you said it was going to be a jovial show. Interesting choice of words there. What's going on?
I haven't used the word jovial in decades. The last time I was jovial is when I got out of the Army. I'm going to reserve my jovials for stuff like that. But I'm jovial. I like the way some things are looking right now. It's a great show today because it's all good news. And since I started at the Bar Room years ago, when we had a measly 4,000 people that were coming in, and nobody on our YouTube channels or anything, nobody knew except a few people who we were. It's never been nothing but bitterness, since you and I've been doing the show, whether it was the way they handled Mitch, the way the field stuff went, and now how things happened early. But, I'm looking at a Chicago Bear team that seems to be all on the right page, seems to have a defense, seems to have an offense. I know who they were playing yesterday. I don't care. We projected this as one of the easier games on the schedule, so you're supposed to win those games.
Right.
That's exactly what they did yesterday. Caleb Williams looked fantastic, but Jaden Daniels looks like the next Mahomes. And you know what? I won't care, because just like with Mitch, as long as we win, I don't care who our quarterback is. You can only play one at a time. And the bottom line is, I thought for him to throw for 300 yards yesterday, the pocket was beautiful for them. The offensive line made a beautiful pocket most of the time. He didn't look to run. His passes are precise. Mm-hmm. I know a good quarterback when I see one. I know a bad quarterback when I see one.
By the way, let me interrupt you real quick, because Ravi says, years ago, I said, put Foles in for Mitch, make him a starter after that Atlanta comeback game. Mike said, bad idea, and he admits he was wrong.
Yeah, you know what? It's okay. Not many people do, Ravi. I give you complete confidence in that. But I it's not about being wrong or right. I think when you're winning football games,
yes,
no matter what the quarterback does, if he's there, whether Mitch was 29-21 with us, whether Caleb now is 3-2 with us, we're winning football games. These are games we were losing last year and the year before and the year before. Yeah. Okay? Because for whatever reason, we had a quarterback, and I know he lost yesterday again, Justin Fields. And I'm not going to get into him till our second segment. Okay? But the bottom line is he's like 13 and 31 as a starter. And he could only do so much. We have a quarterback that threads the needle. The last person I saw in Chicago threading the needle was my grandmother at the sewing machine. You know what I mean? God,
I
I've never seen a quarterback thread the needle. Oh, he threads the needle. I used to hear that all the time. Oh, Bart Starr threads the needle. Unitas threads the needle. Michael Vick threads the needle. Hey, Steve Bartkowski threads the needle. Jim Kelly threads the needle. Joe Montana threads the needle. Tom Brady threads the needle. No Bear quarterback ever threaded the needle. That pass last week to DJ Moore for the touchdown was threading the needle. He threads the needle. He throws into tough spots. He's not afraid. His arm is strong going to his right or left, and he's improving every week. He's being very understated right now. He had his fun in training camp. He's a leader. He sits down with the coordinators. Shane Waldron. I mean, my God. Shane Waldron called a terrific game yesterday. The offensive line played great. The running backs played great. Swift is making a name for himself as an all-purpose back now. Yeah, I watch the games, folks. I see it all. It's glorious. And then the defense. I don't know how many people have talked about this today. The sign of a good defense is having good defensive players naturally, but having depth. And I'm looking at the Chicago Bear defense, and I'm seeing that 17 different players made tackles yesterday.
Wow.
17. You know, you had the guard with 5, TJ Edwards with 6, Tremaine Edmonds with 6, Stevenson with 6, Jalen Johnson with 5, Gordon with 5, Brisker with 5, Sanborn with 4. I mean, these guys all the way down, all the way to Jalen Jones, who had 0. He was the one that had 0, so he's going to be probably the guy that has to buy the food in the clubhouse. But 17 different guys were listed on making tackles yesterday. Also, Williams played a clean game. He didn't throw the ball. That's the beauty of him.
Yeah.
No mistakes. We had that with the last guy. No mistakes. No fumbles. You know, no interceptions. No, you know, and getting away a couple times from the rush, as good as I saw last year from Justin. And I thought Justin was good getting away from the rush. Made some pertinent runs to get the first down. Didn't pull up. So he takes the physicalness. He can handle it, knows when to slide. And then you got Eberflus, who called a great defensive football game. And the way that the defensive team is playing, it just seems like, and then we got a great punter. If he has a 40-yard punt, we're surprised. You got Santos, who, you know, you got everything right now is in mode for them to get better. Now, how much better can they get? We haven't started playing the division games. That won't happen until week 11. Right. We're playing an easy. I know they were cupcakes, believe me. But Carolina's won a game with Andy Dalton. The Bears made them look as worse than they are. And I think that Carolina made the Bears offense look better than they are at this point. So I think it was just a great game yesterday. We'll take your questions, anything you want to talk about. Aldo, if you got some comments, I know you were covering the game yesterday. Put a couple of the videos up. Make sure you check out the bottom, folks, and check out what Aldo does on Sundays. He works his butt off, but to win the game 36-10, total domination.
Mike, I know you just said that we haven't played division opponents, but have you seen enough? Because this is regarded as the toughest division in the NFL. 5 games in. Have you seen enough of this Bears team to say they can be competitive for an NFC North title with, you know, having 2 games left against the Vikings, Packers, and Lions?
I think it's tough, only because we're the guy, and this is my whole deal here. We're the guy in the room that has the inexperienced quarterback. Not that he's a bad quarterback. Believe me, I'm happy he's with us. Okay. But I noticed the teams, Aldo. Now, Mahomes is a freak. All right. So he's like Jordan was. Yeah. But if you look at most of the teams that are in the playoffs or make the playoffs, the thing that the Bears have been trying to do that hasn't worked, every 3 years we get a new quarterback. The other teams, Cousins is on Atlanta. He was somebody else's draft pick. Mayfield's on Tampa. He was somebody else's draft pick. Okay. Stroud's one of those guys that was a draft pick by Houston. But Goff is on Detroit. He was on another team. He was on the Rams. Stafford's on the Rams. He was on Detroit. So there's two ways to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
You can do it the way that Kansas City has done it with Mahomes, like they did. Okay. But if you want to make your team better, you better hit right, like Washington apparently has, and probably the Bears with Caleb, because I'm noticing a lot of these teams are taking former number ones and moving them to other teams and tasting success that way, which is great. But I'm not saying you have Josh Allen, who, by the way, had an atrocious game yesterday. If you saw that game, 9 of 30. I mean, we'll talk about him down the line. It's just good to see some improvement from week to week with this team. I never once, I can't remember the last time the Bears put a hurting on that like that. I mean, that was a hurting. They looked like they didn't belong in the same field with the Bears, and they probably didn't. And they knew how to play Dalton. They knew how to play him, keep everything. He'll throw a couple long ones, but they'll try to just dink-dank and play back a little bit, make them keep the play in front of you, come up with your turnovers. So, I mean, I'm in a, like I said, since I've been with the bar room, it's been mostly bad news from the time I joined with the Bears. And I know everybody had their high hopes for this or for that. It just didn't work out. But now it's a whole new time, and it gives us some. And now we're in London, where I went for about 10 days. And this was before they had TV the way it is now. But, yeah, they're going to London. And Jacksonville, the concern is they're staying there, you know. So they got that week under their belt. But London was a lot of fun. I went with Jesse Rogers on the Jack the Ripper tour. I'll never forget it. Jesse goes, hey, because we took the show there and we were at Piccadilly Circus. I don't know. I pulled it off. British Airlines took us first class. Schwartzy.
Nice.
And I'll never forget. Jesse kept bugging me. We got to go on this Jack the Ripper tour. I go, Jesse, who cares? It was in the like 1800s or something. I mean, the guy was a bad guy. He goes, yeah, but they show you all the sights and everything. So I go. It's like 30 degrees out. And we're all out, we're standing outside. He did everything mostly. This is what Jack claimed his 11th victim. This is the guy. There's like 12 of us standing there. He cut her from her vagina to her neck.
Oh, jeepers.
Okay. I'm going, it's a drive-through bank. What are you talking about? All the buildings that he did this had been bombed out. It's all modern. Here's where Jack got his third victim. What, the Starbucks? Where? What are you talking about? So they don't have any of the construction left anymore because it was all bombed out in World War II. But I'll tell you this, the pubs, they all got carpeting. They're all upscale. They don't have like the nuts like we have. You walk in, there's like 800 screens and everybody's yelling and going crazy. You know, everybody's like more reserved for the most part. Although I've never been there for a soccer game. I mean, they beat the crap out of each other if they lose. So I don't know. I mean, they're out of their mind. But yeah, so that's a little bit concerning. It's a good time trip, but Jacksonville's going to spend a week there, which is smart. You don't want to make that trip back, folks. Believe me.
Yeah, well, and Jacksonville plays a second straight game in London. I learned that today from Greg Gabriel. So I didn't know
they played. Yeah, they're going to play. This will be their second game.
Oh, so they played in London last night.
Yeah, they played the Jets. Or was it who played the Jets yesterday?
It wasn't the Jaguars. It was Minnesota Vikings. Yeah,
and then Jacksonville. That's right. Jacksonville's going. I had Minnesota as Jacksonville. Minnesota played yesterday the Jets in London, which I don't know why. And then now Jacksonville will play and then stay over. That's right.
Right. Hey, I want to share this with you. I know you're going to talk about the Chiefs later during your pick'em segment, but Cristian Mercado, you like the way I said that in Spanish? Cristian Mercado. Kermit the Frog has the entire NFL behind him. Of course, he's referring to Patrick Mahomes. He says, refs are calling all kinds of BS for Kansas City. That team is not as good as the NFL is making them out to be. I want to get your opinion on that because my Wednesday night podcast partner, Dan Aguirre, says the exact same thing. Your thoughts?
That the entire NFL is with
the Chiefs are overrated and the NFL is helping them, maintain their lofty status.
You're always going to get the calls, first of all, when you're number one. You know who got the calls against the Bears every time? Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Because they dominated.
Yeah.
Okay. And the bottom line is that when you dominate a team or a league like Michael Jordan did, Michael Jordan got abused more than any superstar I ever saw until they cleaned up the rules. But they were hurting everybody back in those days, whether it be Larry Bird, he was getting in fights with Liam Beer, or whether it be Dr. J, who got in a fight with Bird, or Reggie Miller. There was a lot of physical activity. But he got predominantly most of the calls in his career. That's what's going to happen with Mahomes. Here's what I'm going to say. You can say they're not that good. That's true. They're not that good right now, but they're so good that they cannot be that good and still win. That's the thing. They don't lose. And I told Eldo right on this show, and I told Carmen DeFalco on AM 1000, they're on a mission because he wants to catch Brady just like Woods, who, even though he fell short, wanted to catch Nicholas. It's the same thing, man. That's in his inner heart. He wants to win Super Bowls because that's the way that he gets compared to Brady.
Right.
And it's like, for as far as the golf goes, like I made that analogy, people forever, Tiger Woods said, it's about the majors. It's about the majors. All of a sudden, it didn't happen. They go, well, he's still the great. No, he's not. He knows he's not. Because it's about the majors, just like it's about the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, but Patrick Mahomes is on a mission, man. But I don't know if you can. Nobody's ever won 3 in a row. So that's another thing. He likes challenges. He comes to play every game. I've never seen him not ready to go. You've never heard a word out of the guy. You've never heard about him being late. You've never heard about any problems in the clubhouse. He's the ideal leader. You look to him. I mean, as a gambler. And by the way, the bookie priest was won last week, and I lost. So I'm 3-3, and he's 1-0. And I had to hear him yesterday call me after he said mass. You know, I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm drinking the leftover wine, laughing at you." But Patrick Mahomes is so, he's got that it thing. Okay, I will say this: they're not playing as well as they have, but man, I mean, I look at the Cubs of 2016, you know, and I'll talk about this later. But after they won one, oh, we're hungover, we're tired from the year before. Madden let them put in that built-in excuse, and they were never the same. And to put it to you bluntly, folks, they got their bite of the apple. Bryant, Baez, okay, and Rizzo. They got their bite of the apple and forgot how to play baseball as hard as they used to. And they had injuries and everything else, but they did bring us the title. Yep. So they'll forever be known for that. I do want to let everybody know, Javi Baez got hurt with a hip. When he left, they won almost every game without him. Yep. Because he was hurting them in the lineup. He wasn't a cancer in the clubhouse. He was just killing them.
Yep.
I never seen a team disintegrate so fast. I remember people, you got to compare the Cubs to the 85 Bears.
Yeah,
because we thought they were going to win more than one, both teams, and they didn't.
Good point. Christian says, I have to disagree. The calls they give the Chiefs determine games. NFL is rigged for KC to win again because I guess Brady pissed someone off. So Christian is a true conspiracy theorist.
Nah, it's not going to happen, Christian. Because you know what? Before he went there, Kansas City couldn't get out of their own way. I mean, you know, I just think that's the way they play the game. And you know what? They just know how, even when they're playing lousy, they know how to work it. They know how to just do good enough to get in. That's what experience does. That's what Super Bowls do. That's what playing in pertinent games does for people. So, sure, You know what I can't understand, and I've seen an influx of it lately. I haven't seen it with the Bears. The Bears are being excellently coached right now, folks, on both sides of the football.
Yes, they are.
Not too many penalties either lately. How many times did I see 12 men on the field yesterday being called?
Oh, my
I must
goodness.
have saw that. I watch every game. I flip around.
Mhm.
And I saw 2 touchdowns called back. I mean, and then defenses. I mean, they're losing track. How dumb do you have to be? Go in for this guy when this happens. Go out for that guy when this happens.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing a lot of that, man. There's a lot of 12 men and also a lot of illegal guys downfield now. They're trying to utilize the screen pass. So, but the Bears are being clean. I haven't noticed all that many penalties now lately. At the beginning, let's face it, the first couple games was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's not forget where we were at, and let's not get cocky now, because the schedule will get tougher. We will play established quarterbacks like Goff, like Love, and those guys. And how about Sam Darnold? I mean, so let's get ready.
You got to give Darnold some credit.
Oh, baby.
Best meat marinade. I'm going to save your question for the next segment. I got one more for this segment. It comes from Rob. He says, Mike, do you think a team offers a draft pick for Tyson Bagent? It seems the league is desperate to replace injured or ineffective starting quarterbacks. Tyson Bagent, of course, the second-year pro with the Chicago Bears, a backup quarterback. You think he has trade value?
They love him. I think the Bears love him. I don't think the Bears want him leaving at all. He's perfect on this team. Why would you get rid of a backup? We need a backup. I mean, it's a 17-game season now. I'm going to tell you right now, and thank you, Christian. I'm going to tell you right now, I just think that I like Bagent too. I think the fans like him. I think last year to go 2-2 was just fantastic for him. I think to get his feet wet, he got some valuable playing time in the preseason also. So, yeah, I'm fine with him. And him and Caleb Williams are supposed to be like tight. So really tight. But sort of like me and Eldo, you know what I mean? So it's one of those deals. It ain't going to happen, man. And if they do let it happen, I'd be sort of aggravated, to be honest with you. I thought the kid, for playing Division II football or Division III football in front of the biggest crowds of 2,000, stepped in at Soldier Field last year and played tremendously well for a guy that was playing with guys with skill sets that were twice as fast as who he had played with in his college career.
Right. And PZ in the chat makes a good comment is, you trade Bagent, who's going to be the backup quarterback?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want Trevor Simeons. I don't want these guys walking in no more. I don't want Jonathan Quinn.
Tim Boyle.
Let these 2 guys grow together. They get along. They have fun. Bagent's a little bit quirky. I love him. So I like both. I like our quarterback room. I said 3 weeks ago, and I even like our running back room now. Okay. Although Rashawn Johnson is the real deal here. And we didn't pay the Swift we didn't pay the wrong guy. I'm not going to say that. Swift's doing a great job. But Johnson's a guy that bounces off of people. Okay. And it seems like Herbert's the guy that would be trade bait over anybody. And he's the guy that seems to be taking the third place now. And I think a lot of people might have had him projected as 1 or 1A with Swift. And Johnson's come out. And the times he got to carry the ball yesterday, I think you'll see more. He played well yesterday.
Yep. The only reason I think Khalil is still on the roster, because this is the last year of his contract with the Bears. Yeah. He's there in case of an emergency.
Somebody gets hurt. Good point, Aldo. Somebody gets hurt. It's beautiful.
Right. All right. Our next segment is called
Say what?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Say what? I got to listen to the nonsense. I got to listen to it all. I didn't have a good weekend, me and Carmen, as far as, and I'll give my accountability Tuesday on
X.
But I'm going to tell everybody this. What I always do, whether I win or lose, we tell you exactly what we did. Whether we're on the bar room, I just said, the bookie priest won, he's shoving it in my face. He's holding the chalice in front of me. Drinking. Yeah, you don't see how these priests act when they're behind closed doors. Well,
thank goodness.
So all You still with us? All I'm going to tell you is, all I'm going to tell you is, I even forgot we were talking about, for Christ's sake. No, the bottom line is, all I heard, okay, yesterday amongst people and amongst everybody else is that, you know, the situation with the people making the picks, okay?
Right.
When I say I'm making picks, I tell you what we were. There's so many shows, you know, with so many people so being promoted all over the place. And I watch some of these shows. They don't give their records. They don't even tell you what they did the week before. Now, some of them do on the NFL Network. Cynthia Freeland, some of them, I like them.
Yes.
Okay. She gives a record. Okay. Those people give the record. There's other people, oh, I like this game. And then you never hear from them again.
Mm-hmm.
The next week they come into their new show and they just go into, well, we had a rough week last week, or we had a good week later. No. If you went 0-4, if you went 1-3, you got to say it just like if you go 3-1 or 2-1 or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't play that game. And I've never seen so many youngsters that know more about gambling than us old school guys. Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're 22-year-olds. Here's the highlight. Are you kidding me?
They started betting 6 months ago.
You started betting 6 months ago. You're betting $10 a game with your buddy at the door. Not that means anything. You don't have to bet a lot of money. But I can't believe some of the people, you know, men and women. I mean, they're so young. I mean, it's okay to go young, but I don't know where credibility comes in. Mm-hmm. I just think you got to have a little bit of, everybody makes picks now. I don't care what show you watch. Carmen and I and Eldo, back in the day, I thought up the odds couple and I brought it to ESPN 1000. And, well, they contacted me, but then they said, we'd like you to gamble. And I said, I got a concept. Awesome. And the same thing goes here. Mm-hmm. And they said, people thought you're going to last 6 months at ESPN. Well, no, because we're winning. We win every year. You got to win. I can't keep track of what's going on with some of these other people. Keep the records. I do know that Paulie and Mitch keep the records on VSiN, and I think some shows on ESPN. But the other shows know exactly what I am talking about. Okay. Also, Tom Brady doing some X stuff now, giving away the player of the game, going back to the John Madden type of situation. I saw that he took care of that. Kyler Murray gave him the player of the game. I guess that's got to be pretty cool to be doing that, to get that type of award, to talk to Tom Brady afterwards. I think it would be a hoot, but I think that's a good time. At least you get a chance to see the guy. As I have said, I think Bill Belichick was the better hire out of everybody as far as that goes. And
I agree. And I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was the better hire. We'll see what happens with that. Dan Orlovsky, my buddy Dan Orlovsky. And Dan, I do criticize you, but I also give you credit when you do it. But I remember this. I bring you up because I watch you. Dan Orlovsky said that the Steelers are like 23rd or 24th in points scored at 18. And they're like low 20s, 27th or something in yards passing per game. I go on. But none of it's really Justin Fields' fault. Here's what I'm going to tell everybody. When the hell is it going to be his fault? Now, he's a great little player. I love him. Okay? But when you're the quarterback of a football team, that was my argument here with Chicago. You're the quarterback. And if you want to have a decent quarterback like we do now, you got to see the difference between him and between Caleb Williams, for instance, or Russell Wilson, because I believe Russell Wilson, if he's healthy, will be back. Here's what Justin Fields is. He's that perfect plug-in guy, man, for 4 games. They won 3, now they've lost 2. They're not. He's Schwarber to me. Schwarber's a 240 hitter. Okay.
True.
240 hitter that looks like garbage. And then all of a sudden you go, where'd the ball go? Where'd the ball go? Fields wants to win so bad. He's great at running. He's getting better at passing. He's with the right team. Okay. But one of the reasons they're that low, Dan, is because of the quarterback position. Just like one of the reasons you didn't last is because you were a quarterback and didn't put up the numbers. But you got there. But you should know better. Okay. I see already a big difference in the Bear offense after 5 games than I did the last 3 years. I think everybody would agree on that.
It's fair.
Offense. So all I want is for once somebody to say Justin Fields has to do better. And he is doing better, but he's not going to be that big guy because he just isn't accurate enough. Yesterday, he almost threw for 50%, but 2 were for touchdowns. Where my Schwarber thing comes into play. You're watching Schwarber. I mean, people say, why didn't Schwarber? I never had a problem with them getting rid of Schwarber. Never had a problem with that because he didn't do enough. He hit 190 as a leadoff hitter with the Cubs.
Yeah.
But also the Boston Red Sox had him, the Washington Nationals had him, and they let him go. I never had a problem with that. Now I'm watching the guy, and everybody's going, boy, everybody should have kept him. All the other 3 teams should have kept him. He's in the perfect place that can afford to have a guy like that. Justin Fields is in the perfect place where you can have a quarterback like him. The Bears weren't that place. That's why we got Caleb Williams, and that's why our offensive, that's why we had a quarterback throw for 304 yards yesterday. Okay? 304 yards, Dan. Justin Fields never did that. The quarterback does matter in the game of football. But I understand what you're saying. He's done a good job, but I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be around much longer if especially Pittsburgh gets behind. Now, it's not Justin Fields' fault yesterday that Dallas gave up, that Dallas scored a touchdown with 4 seconds left. But I think they're leaving touchdowns on the field again, so we'll see what happens. And, also I think that the coverage has been great. The WNBA, why they are playing games on NFL Sundays is beyond me. And last week and this week, you had Caitlin Clark playing on a Sunday, I believe, last week.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. For the haters out there that don't want Caitlin Clark to succeed, you are the biggest bunch of dummies I've ever seen. They're averaging 1.6 million with her playing, and they're averaging under 1,908,000, which isn't bad. And when I hear people like Keith Olbermann get on somebody because they said that Christine Brennan, was a kiss butt for the league or something. Well, Christine Brennan's a female journalist from Northwestern. I've known Christine forever. Been work forever. But Olbermann said, oh, she's one of the people that ushered in the WNBA and has promoted it. So you should the WNBA is around because of the NBA. Nobody did anything. The NBA gives them so much money, hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Hopefully, someday down the line, they will be able to handle their own. But they're losing money this year because they only have a couple of attractions. And half the league's a bunch of jerk-offs. So, people don't want to watch them. Okay? I mean, there was a double entendre. You got a star player, and you got 1 million people watching her. But then you got other people shutting them off because you don't like the way that the other players are playing against. There's just one of those caught between a rock and a hard place. She took a rookie beating this year more than anybody I've ever seen. But then I'm reminded Jordan and Bird and all these other guys took the same beatings. They did. But here's what I'm going to tell everybody. From now on, she is the league. And you want her to go as deep into the playoffs as you can. Okay? But please, you shouldn't be playing games on NFL Sundays. Hey, is there a commissioner in this league that has half a brain? Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. Be the only game in town. Maybe you have to compete against baseball. I'd hate to see a Caitlin Clark playoff game against a Major League Baseball playoff game. I don't want to know what would happen there. I'm a baseball guy. But I've got a feeling that would be a pretty damn good battle between the two. So try
Agree.
to another day. Would you agree, Aldo? Against the Tigers and the Royals or something? Are you kidding me? You know?
I really wanted to watch these last few WNBA playoff games, but they were up against NFL football. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got an allegiance to NFL football that lasts decades.
Yeah. What are you doing in Caitlin Clark's house? What are you doing?
Yeah,
they play on a Tuesday. They played games this year, honest to God, at 1:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. They got a better chance at playing at 1:00 after Dr. Phil. You have him be the lead-in and drawing a crowd at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday than going up against the National Football League. You got to be out of your mind. You know, you got the Indianapolis Colts playing at the same time you got like the Fever. Come on. So, yeah, that's something that I think has to be adjusted. And other than that, there was mostly all good stuff for the rest of the week. I think that, I don't know, did you see anything? Did anything catch your eye as a TV guy? You're just so the Bears. You're so
nothing comes to mind immediately, but I do want to say this about NFL broadcasts in general. You know that fantasy football is big. I know you don't play fantasy football.
I get it.
But I
wish I'd been on my shows back in the day because I knew.
Because it's so popular, right?
Right.
So I'm wondering, if DeAndre Swift carries the ball for 7 yards, why can't they put up not his fantasy numbers, but just 7 rushes, 86 yards, so that fantasy owners can say, "Oh, that's good for my fantasy team."
Yeah, they don't put enough graphics up.
Yeah, they go long stretches without putting in individual player statistics that will appeal to fantasy football players.
And they don't also put the scores up in the right side anymore of all the games because they want you to now go on YouTube. The problem is if you're watching the game on regular TV, okay, on Channel 2, and I also got it an app going for another game. You're going back and forth. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Thank God. I think YouTube's done a good job. I had DirecTV. I love DirecTV, but I think YouTube has done a fantastic job. It's easy to do now and stuff like that. Once you learn, there's a lot of apps. We've talked too many apps that we've talked about that, but you're right. I mean, I think that the scores aren't up there anymore. They don't put enough fantasy stuff up there anymore. There's not a crawl going on during any NFL games for the most part. They don't want you to know. They want you to watch that game. And if you're not watching that game, which is smart TV if you're a guy like Aldo, highfalutin executive. But Aldo likes information too.
Yes.
And, you don't want to make it hard on people. But I'll tell you what I do. My whole thing starts on Thursday. I start handicapping on Thursday. I go all the way into Sunday. And then I get my TV ready. Okay. And during commercials of the Bear game is when I do the other games, when I check them. And I have it in my head. I'll come back. Bing, bing, bing. I go back to the Bear game, and they're running back out in the field. I got the commercial thing down. I think most people do.
Yeah.
Got the commercial thing down in their head. Okay, I can go back now, because here's what I'm going to tell you. I can't tell you the amount of times there'll be like 5 games on in the morning, in the morning session at noon, and I will go to the other games, and every one of them's at a commercial.
That's all I hated.
Every fucking one of them is at a commercial. Every goddamn one of them. Although, let's go hide in the moving car. She's back. The Halloween Geico commercial is back.
Oh, no.
The woman's got to be 40 now. The blonde.
At least.
You can look her up. I looked her up the other day. She's an actress and she does other things, but that's her claim to fame, So I'm going back to the commercials. And then all the games are on at the same time. But
it was so bad last week when I was trying to stay on top of the President's Cup.
Oh my God, that's a nightmare.
Oh my goodness, Mike! It's like I love team golf, Ryder Cup and President's Cup.
yeah.
I love that more than the Masters and U.S. Open, and I love those too.
A lot of people
But
do.
team golf is just so much fun. And so, I'm watching a Bears game. I want to take a peek to see how the USA is doing against the international team. Commercial? You guys hardly run commercials at a golf match. What's going on?
Sometimes I'll go to TCM that doesn't have commercials, but on NFL Sunday, commercial. There's, the bumpers.
For the wine club.
Yeah, if I see the John Ford bumper one more time, I'm going to kill myself.
Exactly.
This is a little message to Ben Mankiewicz and all the boys over there. Eddie Muller. Get some new stuff in there.
Please.
There's some... Duke, you can't. Yeah, Duke could act. Knock it off, number one. And after about 100 times of hearing Duke can't act, I've had enough. Please get somebody new in there. And the other one, the tour.
Yes, I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
I don't need to go. I've seen the whole tour. I just watched them.
Yeah. And then stupid bit that they do with Rebel Without a Cause with the guy all of a sudden comes out of the blue.
Did Ben say that was okay? My God.
That was awesome.
My God. And they have Velvet Wine. They have a wine club. I mean, my God, Ted Turner was a genius. He brought the film. I know we're getting off topic, but I got this. He bought the film library of RKO. And he thought he was out of his mind. And he bought Warner Brothers Film Library before 1948. And they said, what are you doing? And then he did what he did. So
he did.
Unbelievable.
Well, so that's perfect for this next segment that we call
Anything Goes.
Yeah, I jumped Anything Goes. Yeah.
By the way, Mike, you mentioned crawl, and we've been running since almost the beginning of the show a crawl that tells you where Rao Jewelers is, what their phone number is, and the great service that they provide. They are the sponsor of our show, and so if you are going to buy that special gift for that special someone, head over to Hoffman Estates, 3001 Barrington Road, and go visit our friends over at Rao Jewelers.
Yeah,
Isn't that right?
You drive down the street. I mean, you don't even need. I mean, you think the plane's landing. It's like it's lit up. It's the sparkles. You can see them from like the 53, the Kennedy. You see these lights. You think a rocket ship landed or something. You can see it because it's the sparkles from a mile away, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Anything Goes. Well, the Vikings beat the Jets yesterday, 23-17. Aaron Rodgers looks absolutely done. He's got a high ankle sprain. He came back into play, though. His passes aren't as crisp. The year off hurt him. He's going to cash $100 million his first 2 years, and they're not going to make the playoffs, I don't believe, folks. They're in big trouble. He looked down yesterday. They're 2-3. Look, they started out 2-3 once before. This was years ago, and they ended up making the playoffs when he was with Green Bay. But he's a much younger man. His offensive line is not that good, and their running game's okay. They're just a middling team, in my opinion. So I don't think the New York Jets are going to do much. And Sam Darnold getting it done. The Minnesota Vikings right now, Justin Jefferson, if not the best receiver in the league, I don't know who is. I mean, he's a dangerous man, and they are getting it done. And they're one of the youngest teams in the league, and they're 5-0 right now. The Bears beat the Panthers 36-10, total domination. I think I said the last time I said total domination for the Bears might have been the Urlacher years, or probably 85. Now I can say that with yesterday's game. And you know what? Carolina stinks anyway, and the Bears did what they're supposed to do. The Ravens 41, the Bengals 38. People keep waiting for the Bengals. They're 1-4. Maybe the Bengals ain't going anywhere. I know they got Joe Burrow, but I don't see a whole lot. You let them 41 on you. Burrow can only do so much. Here's a guy that throws 5 touchdowns. But also, he threw 5 touchdowns yesterday. They're winning the game, and he throws an interception with 3 minutes left. Where are you throwing the ball? Why? It's him. He lost. He helped lose them that game, even though he had a terrific game. And they have no defense. Lamar Jackson gets bailed out of that one. And Lamar Jackson, I think he's beaten Burrow almost every time. So I'm tired of hearing about Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Jackson, I think, is like 7-1 against him or something.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Sorry. So let's see you do a little bit more. You're going on reputation and fumes from what you did 2-3 years ago when you got the Super Bowl. And I had somebody bring up something good on X yesterday. Oh, why don't the Bears have an offensive line? And this was before the game yesterday, and Billy Godfather brought it up. Joe Burrow was sacked 70 times, and they made it to the Super Bowl one year.
Yes.
Just got his brains beaten. Just get through it. You got to figure it out because there's only 6, 7 good offensive lines in football right now. The Dolphins and the Patriots, garbage football. Patriots are 1-4. Things are breaking up. Shaquille Peppers just got arrested.
Oh.
If you look up Peppers on New England, he just got arrested for strangulation. I don't know of who, of what, but if you could look that up, New England, and give us a little update on that, Aldo. Because
here it comes. Jabril Peppers arrested on assault and drug charges.
Wow.
So that was 2 hours ago on CBS News.
What do you see on the crawl for strangulation? I'm going, oh. Wow. So that's breaking apart in New England. They started out quick. They're 1-4 now, 0-2 in the division. The Commanders, they got a beautiful quarterback. Oh, 3 beautiful touchdowns yesterday. Didn't play one of his look, he's broken records that Mahomes didn't have. Rushing yards, total yards, passing yards, his first 5 games. So I hope everything works out with the kid. He won the Heisman last year. Apparently, he's the real deal. I mean, he's a changer. Where have the Washington Commanders been, or Redskins, or whatever they want to call them? Where have they been? And then this guy shows up, and they're undefeated.
Wow.
I think 1 loss, 4-1, and they're 2-0 at all. Come on. I mean, he's your rookie of the year, and he's got in the running for MVP. Maybe, who knows?
Yes.
Got a long way to go. Jaguars 37, Colts 34, 2 more pretenders. Jaguars 1-4, Colts 2-3. This is a game. Joe Flacco just played out of his mind, and they lose the game.
Yeah. Mike, do you think it's a good thing for the Bears that the Jaguars got that first win out of the way, and there's not pressure on the Bears to not lose against a winless team?
Yeah, I always think it's good, but I don't think the Jaguars are that good.
Yeah.
I think the Bears, if you pressure Trevor Lawrence, he starts to crap the bed. I see that.
Yep.
I see that. He's more worried about the length of his hair than he is about you know what I mean? A little sissy Spacek to him. You know what I mean?
Sissy?
You know what I mean?
Did you say sissy?
No, he's not, though. He's not. But
I'm just playing.
Yeah, but a little sissy Spacek to him, though, with the hair and the whole thing. Coal miner's daughter.
Yeah, 6'4". Sissy
Spacek. No, I'm just talking about.
I know.
You got to make it ugly as usual. They can make it brother and sister. They could have been brother and sister, but yeah, he's. I don't know what to think of the Jaguars, and I don't know what to think of the Colts. You got the Texans 23, the Bills 20. Everybody's giving on the Bills, but let's give the Texans some credit here.
Yes, sir.
My God, I mean, you had guys like Schaub and J.J. Watt back in the day, and everybody thought they were doing this and doing that, and and guess what? You got this Stroud kid, 4-1, 3-0, beating the Bills at home, 23-20. Bills played a good football game, but they played at Houston. Houston has a pretty damn good football team. They made the playoffs last year. They'll probably make it again. I'm surprised right now they're 4-1. The total was 9.5 for wins. And I thought, wow, that's sort of weird. They won 10 last year. They mustn't think they're going to win 10 this year. It looks like they're going to win 10 this year too, folks. Broncos 34, Raiders 18. Minshew stinks. One of those guys that will play good for a couple games. You go, this guy could be a starter. And then he plays 2 more games, and you go, this guy should be out of the league. You know what I mean? So, he's so good sometimes, and I went with him yesterday, and my God. And here's another guy, Bo Nix, playing smart football. I'm not going to say this class is in the class of Kelly, Elway, Marino.
Yeah.
But these guys, now, Penix is still not playing. and the kid from Minnesota, McCarthy, is hurt.
Correct.
Okay. So we won't know for 3-4 years. But these first three guys of Williams, Daniels, and Nix, I mean, they're tasting success. I mean, all three guys won yesterday. They played like 5 games in their career.
Pretty cool.
Which is very good. Pretty phenomenal. So good for them and good for them. The Broncos and Sean Payton can coach, folks. I know people, and me included, have said, well, look what he had Drew Brees. You know, and what has he done since? And, well, he's putting together a program out there, and he's really a quarterback coach, a very successful one. He was that before he was a head coach. And, man, he is got this Bo Nix playing some football. Not a lot of yards. Simple. I always loved the 49ers with Montana and Rathman and Craig. They never ran the ball. They threw 3-yard passes, and then they'd run for 15 yards. The running game was their short passing game.
Yeah.
They ran, but I mean, it wasn't like, you know, the Bears would run or other teams would run. So they used the short passing game nice at Denver. 49ers lose to a 7.5-point underdog. The Arizona Cardinals, 24-23. I'm not worried. They've got guys out. McCaffrey's hurt and stuff like that. I still think the 49ers will make the playoffs. If they don't, it will be a major upset in my opinion. But they are 2-3, and the Cardinals are 2-3. So, you know, they look mortal. They hadn't looked mortal the last couple of years, folks. And when you lose that aura, okay, of invincibility, okay, very few keep that their whole career. I would say Jordan kept it most of his career. Mike Tyson, when he walked in the ring, he had that aura, okay, that boom, you're going down. Until he lost to Buster Douglas and was looking for his mouthpiece, okay? And he was crawling all over the floor, remember? And he put it in wrong. He put the thing in it. That's when he lost it, remember? That's when he was crawling like a baby. That's when, when everybody started playing. Well, that's when Holyfield and everybody started beating the. So, you know, you lose that aura of invincibility, and that's what San Francisco seems to have lost. The Green Bay Packers just do it. I have said it. Oh, by the way, and Craig Counsell, I'm sure, wrote a letter of thanks to the New York Mets. Believe me.
That's right.
Anyway. But I would steal the Packer coach if I couldn't have Ebby. I call him Ebby. Some people call him Flus. I call him Ebby now. Guy's got everything put together.
Some people still call him loser.
I might call him something sooner. I don't know what's going to happen until the end of the year. But this guy, LaFleur, knows how to coach a football team. And they win, and they beat the Rams. And I had the Rams +3, and they went for 2, and they didn't make it. It's just one of those days yesterday. Stafford does as much as he can with the garbage that he's given. Yeah. I mean, the guy won a Super Bowl. I still don't know half the players on the team that won that Super Bowl. I mean, they had Cooper Kupp, and they had Cooper Kupp.
And Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp was great. I mean, I can't name it.
And don't forget about Cooper Kupp.
They had Aaron Donald, and they had Aaron Donald there, too, and Aaron Donald. But, I mean, all you heard about was those two guys. And then the Packers are winning. The Rams are 1-4. The Packers are 3-2. Upset. Huge upset. Giants beat the Seahawks at Seattle.
Wow.
29-20. Brian Daboll going, yeah, I'm 2-3 now after winning 2 in a row. Danny Dimes, no more shots being taken as he puts up 29. Geno Smith, is he regressing again? They got off to a good start, but the Giants with a huge road win. The Cowboys, 20. This was one of my winners last night. The Steelers, 17. I just said, you know what? I just went by quarterback, but, you know, Prescott threw a couple bad passes. I mean, the jury's still out on him. I don't think Dallas is going to go anywhere. I think they paid $40-45 million. I think he's up for him. I think he's a popular guy. I will apologize to him because you never know what's going to happen in this game. Look at Sam Darnold. Everybody, his mother, Sam's mother, his parents disowned him. Everybody was disowning Sam Darnold. Now look at him. I saw Jim Plunkett do the same thing. I've seen Steve Young do the same thing. He was left for dead in Tampa Bay. sometimes a new destination. Look at Jared Goff. The Rams got rid of him, and then they get somebody else, and they go to the Super Bowl anyway after they went to the Super Bowl with Goff. There's a lot of good quarterbacking out there. I just think you got to get some of these guys in the right system. I don't think every quarterback that plays for every team fits the system. I like what Waldron's doing. It seems like the first couple weeks, the players, and I give the captains of the team full credit, they went in there and did what me and Aldo do every week. What are you doing? But the captains did it, not the fans.
Yes.
You'll hear on the call shows, Hampton, OB, Peggy, Yurko. You'll hear all these people, expressing frustration. The Bear players went in there and go, are you out of your mind? We know how to win. And since they had that meeting, Waldron did like a come to Jesus moment. His whole game plans are completely different. And that's him. Because a lot of coaches would say, guys, I know, come on, be patient. How many times have you I know what we're doing?
Seen it. Yeah.
Exactly. So give credit where credit is due, and that is anything goes, ladies and gentlemen.
That was fantastic, Mike. By the way, I wanted to address Beast's question here. He's concerned about Shadir Sanders. His stock may be dropping because of stuff on social media. He's, a lot of people are questioning his leadership skills. And then I hate to say this, people are also concerned about the influence his father might have on him, that his father might try to work out a deal where my son will go to the team where I'm the NFL head coach. That's something that
I love Deion Sanders.
I know you do,
because they're winning. I mean, they're doing well.
They're playing better. Yes.
Yeah. He's got his people in place. He had his first year last year. I never said on a Saturday morning from the time I was 9, is Colorado on today? Are the Buffaloes on today? I never said that once in my life.
I said it once when Gary Barnett made his debut.
You brought that up.
Yeah.
They were, but I said like 2 weeks ago, what time's Colorado on? I'm in another dimension over here. But then the guy could coach. I think he'll be fine. Sanders will be fine. The real star of that team is the Hunter kid.
Oh, my goodness.
He plays defensive back and he plays wide receiver. I don't know if you can do that in the pros. I think it's going to be I think he'd be an interesting Heisman candidate. Somebody different except the quarterbacks that win it every year.
Please,
give a guy that plays both ways.
Yeah.
That helps carry a football team. I think he's my odds on right now. I know the quarterbacks. And how about Texas? You got yours, and then you got Arch Manning.
How about that?
Arch Manning, I'd take on the Bears or any team right now. I watched him. He's in the pocket. He's like, I go, who does this look like? It looks like the other two guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that kid's going to be a bonus. He's supposed to be better than the other two guys were.
Yeah. And you and I go back to Archie Manning when he played.
Oh, my God. He was great. He just played on such a bad team. But this kid, Archie Manning, the father, was fast, folks. He wasn't slow like his kids.
Yeah.
This kid is faster than Archie was. Now I'm watching him run. If Peyton Manning would have had that kind of speed, can you imagine? Or even Eli, because they couldn't get away. They were schooled to be in the pocket.
Yep.
God, what a show we're having today.
We really are.
Yeah.
You know what? We have just one more segment left, Mike.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, let's do it. Go ahead.
My nose is filled with snot. I couldn't pick my nose yesterday. I was like this, and I was missing, and I was.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's missing. Then I put my hand, fingers through my hair, and I just couldn't pick the game. I mean, I got one. And they did one of those days, but I've been so good that I can't complain.
Absolutely.
Now, the bookie priest
Mm-hmm.
told me to tell you he will be on in a couple weeks.
Ooh.
He wants to listen to some confessions from the people. He wants them to type in what they feel guilty about over the years in the world of football, and he will listen to the confessions. He's going to do one segment in a couple weeks.
You heard that? Michael Hunsinger, Aunt Mass, and the rest of you guys in there?
Yeah.
Confession time. Couple weeks.
Yeah. Next, it's going to be Sports Confessions, which I introduced back on the Score back in '92, back in the day. And he will listen to your Sports Confessions, and he'll be serious about it. He's he may drink a little bit and imbibe in between, but so what?
Yeah, we don't hold that against him.
Yeah. His business card is I like girls, and nobody says anything. But he's a dirty old man, that rascal. But he'll be with.
I have a lot in common.
Yeah, he likes the Saints plus the 5.
Okay.
I like the Kansas City Chiefs minus the 5 tonight. He wants to make this personal. He goes, I like the Chiefs. He talks, I like the Chiefs, Tell Eldo. I go, okay. And then I go, he goes, I go, I like the Chiefs too. He goes, I like the Saints. I know what he's doing. Okay. And in a couple of weeks, he'll be on the list of Sports Confessions. He used to
love it.
Bless me, Father. You got to do the whole thing. Bless me, Father, for I've sinned. I cast aspersions towards Luce, when I didn't realize he was one of the domineering coaches in the NFL. Your Hail Marys and our fathers. But that's it. I got, but seriously, folks, I like Kansas City tonight. And that would be my pick, Kansas City. But, make your own decisions.
Yeah. Do you want to go with the bookie priest and his blessed pick, or do you want to go with Mike's winning record? Mike's
before he goes out and says hello, everybody.
Yeah.
He walks by me, bumps into me, loser, and then he goes out there and says that. It's funny.
I mentioned the bookie priest was no one to mess around with in the schoolyard growing up.
When he was at Our Lady of Potential Agony parish on the west side, he was pretty rough. And then when he when he was brought over to the Sisters of Perpetual Motion, he got a little bit nicer. But he's doing good, and he'll be on in a couple weeks.
Sounds great. Mike, you're the absolute best in the business.
We love it, baby. And Route Jewelers.
Yeah.
That's right. You can see the sparkles from a mile away. Right there, 3001 Barrington Road, Hoffman Estates. Give them a call. Go see Brad. Go see Ryan. Go see the folks over there. Beautiful place. Nice little area. Just stop by. Ask him for that lovely love necklace. LOVE, baby. Ask him for it. See if you got it. Say BB North's got one. It's beautiful. Mike took his life savings. Well, not really, but he did. Put some money on her. Yeah. But everything's good, Aldo. Good time, man.
You're the best. We'll see you all next week. For Mike North, I'm Aldo Gandia, and the folks over at Raw Jewelers. Take care, everyone.